It is Tuesday, June 25th, and sometimes when you gotta go, you gotta go. That's the theme for today, right here on Guy's Daily Drive. And hello, everyone. Welcome to Guy's Daily Drive. You know, the last few Guy's Daily Drives, it just seemed like I was searching for something meaty, something important to talk about. And something happened on my way leaving work. It's bowling day. This is the day I go bowling, which ends up being a lot of the days when I record Guy's Daily Drive for reasons. And one of the things that I always do before I leave work is go to the bathroom. Drain the vein, whatever it is you want to call it, because even though I don't live that far away from where I work, it is never a good idea to be stuck in traffic and have to pee. It's a terrible, terrible idea. And I'll tell you why. Some number of years ago, I had to take a trip up to New Hampshire. And I won't tell the whole long story about why I had to go and the reasons beyond, how long it took me to drive, why I was even driving to New Hampshire from Northern Virginia in the first place, but I was. So I'd gone to New Hampshire, work-related, did the job there that I was supposed to do, exhausted, because basically I drove all night, worked all day, slept overnight, and then started my ride home. But by the time I got done with the work day in New Hampshire, I was like, this has been a pretty terrible 36 or so hours. So I'm going to treat myself. And I'd seen this Mexican restaurant that was relatively close to the hotel that I was staying at. And somebody in the area had told me it was pretty good. So I was like, cool. So I go to this Mexican restaurant, and I'm looking at their menu, and one of the things they had, and it just sounded so good, was a steak chimichanga. And if you don't know what a chimichanga is, it's basically you take all the ingredients of a burrito, put it together like a burrito, and then you deep fry it. And when it comes out of the fryer, the flour shell that is, the outer layer of the burrito is nice and crisp. Then you add some cheese, little sauce. They're delicious. And this was no exception. This steak chimichanga was just fabulous. So I go back to the hotel and I start my drive. Had all kinds of problems on the drive because you have to go past Boston in order to get to the area that I live in. Have to go past Boston. And the big dig was going on. This was mid-2000s, I guess. Big dig was going on. And it was a mess. The road signs were all screwed up, and instead of staying on 95 South, I ended up on 93 North, I think it was. And by the time I realized it, I was into the middle of the big dig. And then I had to figure out some way to get off of that road, turn back around, and get back to where I needed to go. Remember, there's no GPS. There's no, cell phone navigation systems. I think Garmin was around, or systems like that were around at the time. But normal people didn't have them. I certainly didn't have them. So what I had was MapQuest maps printed out, and that was how I was figuring out where I was going. And a MapQuest map, when you go off grid or off the direction that you were originally supposed to go, doesn't do you much good. So by the time I finally got turned around, and this is a Saturday, so you had, during the summer, so you had all the people trying to either get into Boston or leave Boston, or it was a huge mess. But it added about 2 hours, 1.5 to 2 hours to my total drive that I was going to have to do. And I persevered. I got through it, get back in the direction that I needed to go, and then I came up to New York. And I hit the George Washington Bridge. Now, the George Washington Bridge, at any given time, is a mess. There's always traffic on that bridge. There was traffic when I was going north on it at 1 o'clock in the morning. And there was traffic here too. And I had to get to the other side of that bridge in order to get to the New Jersey Turnpike. So I'm on the GW Bridge. I just gotten on it when that delicious, yummy steak chimichanga that I had had the night before kicked in with a vengeance. Oh my God. I have never been in such gastric, is that the right word? Gastric pain in all of my life. There was nowhere to go. I'm stuck on this bridge for 1.5 to 2 hours, just miserable as that steak chimichanga kept trying to push its way out. I finally get to the other side of the bridge, and I stop at the first rest area for the Jersey Turnpike. And I literally could not leave the car for 5 to 10 minutes after I got there, because I had to compose myself for this walk. for the however far it was walk to get to where the bathroom was, because one single misstep and it would have been game over. So again, 5 to 10 minutes to figure out, all right, can I do this? Is everything under control from my walk? And I took a book because I knew I was going to be there for a while. And everything went as well as it possibly could. Though I did end up not making it all the way home on Saturday. I think I got as far as Delaware. And so that still left me with like 3 to 4 hours to get home. But I was between everything that had gone on, the long drive to get there, working all day, the long drive to get back, the potential really, really bad, what could have been super bad explosion that didn't happen, thank God. I stopped in Delaware and spent the night. Now, this is why I tell you, if you're getting ready to go on a long trip, the last thing that you should be doing before you leave your home or wherever it is that you are is use the bathroom. Another example. My wife and her sister and I just drove down recently to North Carolina. I talked about this for a family reunion. And as we were driving through Virginia, we came up on a rest stop. Rest stop was coming up on 95, and I asked them, do either of you need to use the bathroom? We were relatively close to the border. Now, for people who don't live here in the United States, at almost every interstate border from one state to the next, there's a welcome station. Welcome to our state, and here's bathrooms and information on stuff to do. So that's what, and when I asked if they wanted to use that rest stop before we got to the border, they were both like, well, no, we're only like 10, 15 miles from the border. We'll just go there. It's like, okay. And I kept going. We get to the border. North Carolina is refurbishing their welcome center. Their Welcome to North Carolina Welcome Center. And it was closed. Well, now they're in dire straits. So we ended up going to the next big exit, which wasn't 5-10 miles down the road, where there was a big gas station called Wawa that was there. And it was packed because everybody who I'm guessing wanted to stop at the Welcome Center but couldn't because it was closed was going to the Wawa. Last example before I wrap this up. I was coming back from my friend Dave's house, who lives in Ohio. I just visited him and his wife. And I passed on I-70. I had passed the last rest stop, thinking, I'm like an hour from home. Right after I passed it and got on 270, all of a sudden, I had to pee like crazy. And there was nowhere to go. This is a Sunday. So I go to the next big exit where I see there's lots of shopping and stuff. And I'm desperately looking for something that's open, but everything is closed. It's Sunday. And it's after 6 o'clock, so everything is closed. And I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait anymore. So I go around to the back part of the parking lot. And look around, make sure there's no one coming. Unzip, and I start to pee. Then I hear a noise. I turn around, and there were these two tremendous luxury buses, tour buses, that are slowly driving by as I'm standing there peeing. And there's nothing you can do. There was nothing I could do except just kind of put my head down, hope nobody was taking pictures, and just deal with it. Because once you start, you can't stop. That's how it works. So, the moral of the story, always, always, always use the bathroom before you leave your home or the hotel or whatever. Always, 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 if you even think you're going to have to pee in the next hour, don't pass that rest stop, or you may regret it. If you'd like to get a hold of me, some bumps, all you have to do is send me an email, guy@mymac.com. You can also reach me on the Twitters. I have 2 Twitter handles there, Mac Parrot and Vert Shark. I have a Patreon page, and you can donate to there, patreon.com/Mac Parrot. I have a coffee page, ko-fi, and that would be ko-fi.com/Mac Parrot. Coming up is MacStock 2019 on July 27th and 28th of this year in Woodstock, Illinois. It is going to be so much fun. You guys are running out of time to jump into this. Total cost of the conference, $249 for 2 full days. And if you use the coupon code that I'm going to give you, MyMacGuy, MyMacGuy, you'll get an additional $70 off, making your total charge for the entire weekend at the conference $179. I mean, that is a crazy price. That is a crazy, silly price, and so very good. So you can find out more information about MacStock 2019 by going to macstock2019.com or macstockconferenceandexpo.com. It's in Woodstock, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. Just outside of Chicago. So easy to get to. Well, that is going to wrap it up for me for Guy's Daily Drive today. Thank you all for watching and or listening, depending on how you consume this product. And I will catch you next time on Guy's Daily Drive. Guy's Daily Drive.